Hello. Today I have the pleasure to speak with Dr. Anwen Elias
So,
from University of Aberystwyth in Wales in United Kingdom. You're working on comparative territorial politics, focusing on electoral discourses and strategies of regionalist and nationalist parties. And in this field is, I think, a kind of common wisdom that these actors tend to focus their main goals around the issue of self-government. They claim a certain form of autonomy, territorial autonomy, some even independence. But as far as I understood in your research shows that in fact this kind of conceptualization is a bit too narrow. Can you explain us why is this so?
that's right. So a lot of the literature on stateless, regionalist and nationalist parties start from this assumption that what these actors want is some kind of self-government. And the specific form of self-government can vary from independence to devolution, federalism, protection. But the idea is that they want some kind of self-government. My argument is that if we look in practice at the kinds of things that these actors call for, actually it goes beyond just self-government.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, there are instances of actors calling for not just the shift of power down from the state to the territory, which is what self-government implies, but also asking for more say in the central government's decision-making.
So shared rule.
So demands for shared rule, for example. There are also examples of demands that don't require necessarily any kind of formal constitutional or legislative change. Again, that is the implication in a lot of the literature. But we see examples of parties also and actors calling for some kind of change in their territory, which can be achieved without having that formal legal change necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So my argument is that just thinking about these actors' territorial demands as a form of self-government doesn't fully capture the full range of what actually these actors are calling for.
Okay, thank you very much. The outcomes of this project will be a book, or what we should expect?
A book, at least, and hopefully several articles.
Mm-hmm.
So the book will summarise the core of the project, the approach, the methodology, and then applying this methodology to the cases that we have in the project. And then hopefully the articles will take a more thematic approach. So, for example, we are working on an article on the territorial demands and mapping these demands and thinking through what that means about how we understand regionalist and nationalist parties. We're also working on an article which looks at the impact of the financial crisis, for example, on how these actors frame their territorial demands. Mm-hmm. So there's an opportunity for several publications which draws on this, what will be a very rich data set, to rethink both what kinds of things these actors want and why they want them.
And finally, last question: what are the case studies you are including in this research?
So we have several cases across Western and Eastern Europe. We have 12 regions that we look at. And within those regions, we look at political parties and civil society organisations that have had an impact on the kind of discourse articulated in those places. So the regions are Scotland and Wales in the UK, Catalonia and Galicia in Spain, Corsica in France, Bavaria in Germany, Valle d'Aosta, Northern Italy and Sardinia in Italy. Then we have the Hungarian minority in the Seculand in Romania, and then the Kashubians in Poland.
Okay, so both Western European and Eastern European cases. That's, I think, very, very good. Well, I wish you all the best for your work,
Thank
and
you.
I'm looking forward to read the outcomes of this very interesting research.
Thank you very much.